Hey everybody, this is Christina. Welcome to our Diesel Nation call, first call of May. Unbelievable that it's May already. We have one full month until summer starts. So moms and dads, if you're on in this call and you're listening, brace yourself because you know the summers are quite interesting with the little ones running around. So remember, start planting those seeds so that you have a smooth summer. But we'll talk about that more later on. I wanted to start this call with some announcements before I turn it over to Emilie because she's going to give us the goods on Punta Cana. She's going to give us the goods on her business and her top tips to being a successful coach. I'm really excited to hear from her. I'll tell you a little bit more about her in a second. But you guys, exciting stuff. So if you have been living under a rock, you can mute yourselves. Why are people not muted? Let me just go into my mute all, and then Emilie, you can unmute yourself when you can. If you've been living under a rock, then you don't know that our next program, well, maybe not so much our next program, is the Shift Shop with Chris Downing. Those of you that had the privilege of going to the Dominican Republic, can you guys someone that's on a phone? Sorry guys. Amy, that's you. I just muted you. All right, there. I think I had the culprit tamed there. Maybe not. There's an Anamari that's not muted. Sorry, guys. Yeah, a cat not muted. And I can't mute you guys. That's why. All right. So anyway, if you have the privilege of working out with Chris Downing, you know that he – hold on, you guys. Whoever's on their phone, can you mute, please? Hello? Hello? I'm going to start kicking people off that are not muted. Yes? No? Got you? Okay. No. Hello? This is annoying. Sorry, guys. Okay, I think we got it. Every time I start talking, someone like does something. But anyway, Chris Downing was amazing. I don't think there was a dry eye in the room when his workouts were going on because his workouts literally hit you in the soul. The words that he says are super inspiring. You guys, this is going to be a game changer program. Like seriously, game changer program. And I really hope that all of you are taking the bull by the horns from right now with this program. So what are we doing to get ready for Shift Shop? Because we do have a couple of months until that program launches in July, right? It's going to be put out on Beachbody On Demand on July 13th. So my sister Becky right now is putting together our quote-unquote Shift Shop launch plan. She does this for every new program that launches. It's basically a step-by-step of what you should be doing. Ugh! I'm going to start screaming. Like, seriously, if you're on the phone, please mute yourself. I don't know who it is. Sorry, guys. Kat, I am sorry, but you got to go. Sorry, guys. I can't concentrate when it's like
me.
Another person.
How is it me?
Okay, whoever just said me, it's you. So you need to either jump off and come back on. Okay, I think. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm like super easygoing, but if someone's talking, I can't concentrate. So anyway, where was I? Okay, Shift Shop launch plan is going to be released soon. Becky's working on it. She really puts her heart and soul into these. She basically lays out what's a good plan to get ready for a new program launch. Okay, so you guys, once that's published, it's available to the entire team. And so if you haven't already seen, I think I posted only on Instagram. Maybe not, maybe on Facebook too, but I'm already starting to use Shift Shop language in the way that I'm positioning my challenge group. So I want you guys to take a look at that, put your spin on it. My next challenge for May is called Summer Shift, and how I positioned it was whoever joins this challenge group will have first access to my Shift Shop coach test group. You know, we always use that term, coach test group. So people are already asking me, oh, like I want to join now so that I can be in that group. So remember, creating that sense of urgency is going to be really important in getting your business ready for a new launch. right? New launches are awesome because you get to not only get your team fired up and yourself fired up over a new program, but you get to kind of introduce a new trainer, a new program to your audience. And of course, with that always comes great excitement. So Shift Shop is coming out on July 13th. So get ready for that. Number 2, and this was kind of like, where did that come from? Carl announced at Punta Cana that Shanti is creating a new program. And in fact, I think he shared today for the first time, if I'm not mistaken, that that program is going to be available before Summit. So we don't have a name. We don't know exactly when, but it's going to be available before Summit. So it's going to launch onto Beachbody On Demand. So you guys, all of this stuff is ammunition, right? Not only is the program the whole challenge pack discounted to $160 until August, but all of this, you guys have Shanti maniacs in your friends list that have done Insanity Max 30 that you can now say, hello, like new program. If you get this challenge pack, you're going to get first access to that. So that's super exciting. Number 3, UV2 launches this month. Obviously a great program for beginners, a great program for people that really just need a step into fitness. So make sure you don't overlook that. I will say from experience, you guys know that I will definitely, God, someone just got on the phone, unmuted. I will say that I have made mistakes in my business. One of them was I didn't attack country heat like I should have. Why? Because I don't like country music. And guess what? It did affect my business because, in fact, a lot of people like country music. And because I didn't position it, I didn't give my audience the opportunity to get country heat, to learn about country heat, to understand what country heat was about. So don't kick yourself in the butt with this UV2. At least do a post or two about it, that it's available, that it's there. You might even want to reach out, privately to some people that you would love to have them start their health and fitness journey with this program. So that's great news. Number 4, I know it's like coming at you. Number 4 is if you've checked your Breaking Coach news, I suggest you do. Beachbody is compiling kid and family-friendly workouts on Beachbody On Demand. So I have a feeling that they're going to start with programs, videos that are already in existence. They're just going to put them all together for us in a package on Beachbody On Demand, kind of like they did with the yoga. You know how they took all the yogas from all the workouts and put them together? They're going to do that, but I have a feeling that we're going to start seeing some new kind of specific workouts created for this bunch. So that's very exciting. I know for the last 6 years, people have been asking for kids workouts. And so now we got them, right? So start talking about that. I think that's this is a great one to go live. I'm just giving my strategy. What I think I would do is I would go live to talk about these kid workouts. Maybe have your kid with you when you do that and ask them questions about working out at home. I think that'll get a lot of attention. And last, number 5, before I turn it over to Emilie, is that the sale of the All Access Challenge Pack has been extended through August. All of this, you guys, is opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. So get out there, do your follow-ups. Last month was outrageous. I don't know why. You guys drank the Kool-Aid yesterday. You pumped it. It was so amazing. So many of you qualified for Fearless Recruiting. That group is already jumping. I'm super excited about that. Rinse, repeat. Let's do it again. Set your goals, set them high, set them big. You guys know that if you're pushing for summit recognition, the Star Diamond qualification has to start on May 11th so that you would rank advance in June. Calm, zen. I'm here, I'm present, I can concentrate. So you guys remember, all these deadlines are important. Make sure you're paying attention to them, and let's rock the ish out of the month of May, and let's get it done. So now I don't want to talk about my experience in Punta Cana. I want to let Emilie Ospina talk about her experience in Punta Cana for the sole purpose, you guys, of really showcasing what her business did from the first time. Obviously, she's going to talk about her experience, how fun it is, but she went on her first Success Hub trip last year to this year. This was her second. And the amazing transformation that she's had in her business and body, by the way, in 1 year, how she felt, what kind of things that she did to get there. So she is a Diamond Coach, Success Club All-Star, total rock star. Worked out on stage with her, with Autumn. She was so funny. So Emilie is like this academic, straight-laced chick, right? And so she's all proper and nervous with Autumn. And after the workout, she comes off stage. She goes, "Can I say something?" And we're like, "Yeah." She's like, "That effing rocked!" But she didn't say effing. She literally said the word, and it was like the funniest moment ever. So without further ado, I want to turn the mic over to Miss Emilie Ospina.
All right, can everybody hear me? All right, awesome. So I have 2 dogs that love to be a part of my team calls. So if you see them, they're super cute, but try to ignore them. So it's funny that Christy referred to me as straight-laced, because I actually have like the world's biggest potty mouth, and I am kind of terrible in that sense. But for me, Punta Cana was this massive shift. So last year, actually, so she had mentioned that I went on the trip last year, but last year I was actually a guest. I didn't earn the trip. So I earned it in a sense that I was newly advanced in Paulina's business center. So I am one of Paulina's Diamond coaches. And so that is how I earned the trip last year. This year, I actually earned the trip for myself. So that was a massive shift in my business, just from my own personal perspective. For last year's trip, I could have absolutely earned that trip, but I let all of my self-limiting beliefs get in the way, and I told myself, there's no way I could earn that trip. There's no way I could get that many people to trust in me. A little background on my story. So yes, I'm an academic. I'm a scientist. I am in grad school, and all throughout my undergrad, I got myself so stressed out that I relied on food and alcohol and cigarettes for comfort, and I made myself an unhealthy mess. I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, acid reflux. I was pre-diabetic. I was on all kinds of medication, and all of that, and it progressed all throughout my undergrad, and I was that way until I was 24 years old, and that was no way to live. Like, I was a mess. And then I found Beachbody, and I lost 90 pounds, and I'm off all of my medication, and my life has just completely changed because of Beachbody. And so I still had some of those self-limiting beliefs. I still had that former me in my head telling me, I can't do this. Nobody's ever going to want to listen to me. Nobody's ever going to want to be coached by me. I still had that fat girl running through my head. Like, does anybody have that? Anybody can sympathize with that, where you still see that person that you were before, and you can't get that out of your head, right? You still see that person in the mirror. No matter how much weight you've lost, no matter how much you've progressed in your fitness journey, that's still what you see when you get up every morning. It didn't matter that I had at that point lost 80 pounds. Like, that's still what I saw. And so I let all those things get in my head. And so, yeah, I was a Diamond coach, but I was a Diamond coach that just barely had my 8 coaches. I just had my team. That's all I had. So I was a newbie Diamond coach, and I had actually kind of bribed a few people to help me get to that point. And I know bribe's a bad word. But I had gotten, my now husband was one of my emeralds, and my best friend was on the other side, and I told her, I just need you to do this for me. I just need you to do this for me. I just need you to do it for a month, and then I'll figure it out. And so that's how I got myself to Diamond. And it wasn't through teamwork. It wasn't through believing in myself. It was kind of just through moving some pieces around. And so all of those things, although yes, on paper, I was a Diamond coach and I was successful and I was a team leader, I didn't believe any of it yet. I felt like I was just kind of playing along, and I was doing the things that Paulina told me to do, and I was doing the things that Christy told me to do, that's how I was going to be successful. And I was getting challengers on because other people were seeing my transformation, but I didn't believe it yet. I didn't feel it in my heart yet. I didn't feel like I was that person that these challengers were putting their faith in. I just felt like I was kind of putting that persona out there without really believing in it. And over the course of, between last year's trip and this year's trip, so Paulina called it drinking the Kool-Aid, because that was last year for me on the cruise. We went and we sat down for the panel, and I just had this switch. There was just something in my brain that just clicked, and I said, you know what, I'm going after this. I'm going to do this. And I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I'm going to do it. And so the person that I was when I went on this trip was entirely different. I mean, if I look back at the pictures from last year's cruise versus this year's trip, the self-confidence that I exude, the fact that I caught myself strutting around in my freaking bikini, which I've never, I was always the chunky kid. I grew up in a Hispanic household, so we ate rice and beans with everything, beans and rice with everything, yuca and all these things that are amazing and taste great. But oh my God, are they I ate too much of it, And so I was always the chunky girl. I was never the girl that felt confident in a bikini. And one of the first days on the trip this year, so the very first day, I got the opportunity to work out on stage with Christy and Becky and Autumn, which was this unbelievable rush. I think through most of the workout, I was kind of on this high where I didn't even realize what was going on. I knew that I couldn't fall. That's just what kept replaying, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. It's cardio core, but don't fall. You've got this. I mean, yeah, I think we were all in pain, but I was just trying to make it to not, fall flat on my face, because I tend to do that. But there was something about this trip that was different for me. I got on a call with Autumn, and I was able to get on stage to work out with her, but that was just a small part of it. It was the confidence to be able to walk around and act like I belonged. That was something that I think I lacked last trip, because I didn't quite feel like I belonged. I felt like I kind of just wormed my way in, and I didn't really belong in this group of coaches that had achieved this amazing thing. And hearing from so many people that my transformation was amazing, and which I get it, on paper it's huge. It's 90 pounds, it's off all my medication, but sometimes it's still hard for me to believe it. And so that's one of the places that, at least for me, personal development has come in just huge. And that's one of the things I really focused on from last year to this year, is really hitting personal development hard. And I know that everybody on these calls says it every single week, and we kind of tend to tune it out at some point, but that's what I lacked before in my business, was really belief in myself, belief in what I could achieve, belief that I belonged, belief that I was worthy. That was something for me that I was struggling with, is I kind of just felt like I didn't deserve to be there. I was just tagging along. I was just part of it, but I didn't deserve to be there. I didn't deserve to be with these amazing coaches. And people picked up on that. So when I shared about it on my social media last year, people noticed that. Whereas this year, I was throughout all Punta Cana, I was getting telling me, you're so inspired. And these are people that have never liked a single one of them, commented on a single one of my pictures, have never engaged with me in any way, that are reaching out to me to tell me, hey, these pictures are amazing, your message is so inspiring. And it's all because I believed. I believed that I was worthy. I believed that I deserved it. And I still kind of had to walk around a few times and pinch myself, because I was in this amazing resort that I had earned. So I'm a grad student. I actually just defended my master's, and I'll be graduating this semester. So I have zero extra money to spend on vacations. So being able to go on one of these vacations was freaking amazing. And so I had to, pinch myself a couple times that I was there. I earned that. And it was absolutely incredible. I can't explain what being on one of these trips is like, what it does for your confidence, how it can change things for you. So being on last year's trip really set me on the path to become the person I am now. The person that I was last year is not the person that I am now. And if we look at, me on paper, the difference between last year and this year is really only about 5 pounds. But the mind shift difference that I had between last year and this year is huge. And I think that's a big part of why my business in the last year has really taken off for me. So like I said, last year at this point, I was a real newbie diamond coach, like just barely holding on, constantly dropping rank because this one coach would go inactive or this other one coach would go inactive, constantly trekking drill downs, constantly in touch with everybody to see what was going on. Whereas now my business is much more secure, and I'm really working on turning my team and helping my team become a star diamond team, because I know that that's what we're capable of. I know that we all deserve this. And so it's hard a little bit to look at sort of where I was to where I am now, because it pains me to see that person. It pains me to see the person that I was, the person that lacked confidence and self-love, and nobody deserves to go through that. And so honestly, like, for me, the big difference was personal development. And at the end of this call, I know a lot of people are asking, like, what am I reading and stuff. So I'll send a list to Christy of some of the audios that I've listened to, some of the books that I've read, and then we can get those all out to you guys. But so the other thing that for me was incredible this time around was being able to share this trip with one of my best friends. So my husband couldn't come on the trip with me because he's also a grad student and had other obligations, but I was able to bring one of my best friends. I was able to show her this community that has done so much for me. I was able to share this with somebody else, like Paulina shared it with me. And although my best friend is not in the Beachbody world, I didn't know this at the time. She was in a really bad place when she came on the trip. Sorry, I hope I don't get emotional here. She was in a really bad place when she came on the trip, and I didn't know this at the time. She needed it. It wasn't something that she shared with me. And so now she's in a much better place. She's back home. She's happier. We got a chance to talk it out in person because she lives in Colorado and I live in Illinois now. So I don't get to see a lot of the day-to-day with her. And so being able to really spend some time loving on her and sharing this with her was incredible. Sorry, total crybaby. But so when my life kind of, the few months leading up to, yeah, absolutely, Paulina, we're all crybabies. All right, I'm good. I'm going to take a sip of wine, regroup a little bit here, and then we'll keep going. Sorry, guys, I need a little liquid courage before this call. All right, I'm good. So I was able to help my friend. I was able to pay it forward in a way that I didn't even know she needed. So that was amazing for me. But, and this is something that Paulina knows a lot of. So I mentioned I have recently completed my master's degree. Leading up to this trip, I had my thesis defense, I had an exit seminar, I had all of these things that I had to do by a specific point. So I was working 80 hours a week, and I was still making Beachbody work. I was still sending out all my invites. I was still making sure to tell everybody who would listen that I was going to Punta Cana and that I was going to rock my bikini while I was there. And I was consistent as hell with my workouts. Because while I was stressed with everything, while I had my thesis going on, while I had my advisor breathing down my neck, asking me for chapters and chapters and chapters, I knew that at the end of the day, this was what was going to keep me going. I knew that my 30-minute workouts or my 40-minute workouts or whatever it was going to keep me going, because I knew that come Punta Cana, I was going to be in a bikini and I was going to be the most confident fracking person I have ever been in this bikini, because I deserved it. I deserved to feel amazing in my bikini. I deserved to have pictures of myself in a bathing suit that I was not ashamed of. I deserved to be the healthiest, happiest version of myself that I could be. And all of the people that we contact on a daily basis, they deserve that too. You know, it's not just something that I can do or you guys can do. It's a gift that we have to give to everybody. And I truly believe that. That's another thing that in my personal business had shifted. I went from being, okay, who can I get to buy a challenge pack to who can I gift this to? Whose life can I change the way that my life was changed? Who is that grad student that eats ramen every night because she thinks she can't afford healthy food? That was me. Who is that grad student that is living on coffee? Who is that young professional that has ulcers from stress from grad school? That was me. Whose life can I bless by giving them that? And so that for me was a big mind shift change. And again, that just came from personal development and from realizing that this opportunity is not about who can I get, who can I, last minute, 11:59 p.m., the 30th or 31st of the month, like who can I get to purchase a challenge pack just so I can hit Success Club? Like that is not what is on my radar. And Christy can back me up on this one. Since July, I have had like record-setting months. Like every single month has been better than the last. And it's all been this mind shift. It's all been, who can I give this to? Who can I bless with this opportunity? And when you take it a step back and you stop thinking about who can I get and instead who can I give this to, that is a huge change. And that was something that I had been working on consistently all year because that was something that we had talked about on last year's trip. And so it's just these like small little things here and there that you pick up on these trips and that you learn about on these trips that really just have the incredible ability to transform your business. And, we say it all the time that you have to go to live events. You have to go to live events. You have to go to live events because that's where things click. That's where things finally make sense. And for me, it couldn't have been more true. Being able to go to the trip last year, although I didn't feel 100% all the time, I took what I could out of it and I learned. I looked at the top coaches and I tried to figure out what they were doing, and I was applying it to my business and constantly learning and constantly growing and never being complacent. And that for me was really how my business shifted. Is I just learned. I soaked it all in and I learned and I worked my butt off, even when I could have used every single excuse of I don't have time, because when you're working 80 hours a week, there's really not much time there, sleep and work. But I still managed every single day to get in at minimum a power half hour, because there were some days where I did not have an hour. But what can I do? And there's always something you can do. Like I know a lot of people on this call have kids and have full-time jobs and have other responsibilities, and I don't have children. But I want kids. And when I am lucky enough to have children, my husband and I are lucky enough to have children, I want them to see me as a strong, powerful, uplifting woman who can kick ass and get anything done. Because that's how I see myself now. If I would have had kids as my previous self, my pre-Beachbody Emilie, as I call her, they would have seen this, defeated, unhappy, unhealthy woman that's passing along the same exact habits to her kids. And I don't want that. I mean, I'm super proud of the fact that my husband now is like super on the healthy bandwagon and is all about like the gains now. And like this boy ate mac and cheese out of a box and it drove me insane. Like, and if I could help him change his habits, I can do anything. Like I can help anyone. And that's the mindset that I feel like we all have to have, right? Is like, even before you really think you can do it, think it anyway. Like, I think in my head that I'm a 15-star diamond coach. That's what I think in my head, and that's how I approach every single conversation that I have. Even though I'm not there yet, I will be there one day. I know that. And this is like when I was strutting around on the beach at Punta Cana, like I felt like the hottest piece of, around. Like I felt good in my bikini. And that would have never been possible if not for Beachbody, if not for this team, if not for the amazing programs that we have at our disposal. And it still boggles my mind that in 1 year, like I had fed myself that same self-limiting BS for, let's see, how old am I now? 27. So for 26 years, I fed myself the same BS of you can't do this, you're not good enough, you're a pretender, you're just skating by, you suck, you know, whatever like bad thing I could tell myself, I did on a daily basis. And in just 1 year, and not even 1 year, but let's call it 1 year, I turned it around listening to personal development. So there's no reason that every single person on this call, if you still say bad things to yourself or you still say ugly things to yourself, right now, today, decide, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore. Read some personal development and love on yourself. I stand in my mirror every single morning and I do, my Wonder Woman pose. And I tell myself that I am beautiful, I am worthy, I am a rock star. And then I go out and crush it. And before you believe it, you have to tell it to yourself every single day. And one of these days, you're gonna believe it. It's gonna be true. Even if it's not right now, right at this minute, you don't believe it, it still is. And I just can't describe the feeling. Like, I'm still kind of trying to come down from it and coming back to reality and realizing that I'm not a rock star that can walk around in a bikini all day long. And it's okay, because if I walked into the grocery store like that, I'd turn more than a couple heads going, what's a crazy person? So I am still awesome. I am a rock star. I can do anything I put my mind to. And that's the same that I can say about every single one of you. You just have to believe it. And that for me was like the absolute biggest shift is, Christy basically asked me to share how I felt being in Punta Cana, right? I felt like a rock star. There's just no other way to put it. There's no other way to describe it. I felt like I was on top of the world, and I let everybody on my social media know it. I let everybody know every single day, multiple times a day, that I was on this trip, and I earned that trip, and I felt awesome because it was true. And then the other question she asked me was, how did my business change? Well, last year I faked it. I faked it till I made it. And that's where I am now. I have been consistently hitting Success Club. I've been listening to my personal development. I have been working on myself, having my 30 minutes every day that I can turn to, that I can push play, helps me get out so much stress. Having my eating plan. I mean, my business has completely changed. I went from just being able to pay my Shakeology to paying our mortgage, to paying our car payment, to paying down my student loans just with my income from Beachbody. And I'm blessed for this opportunity. I can't think of any other way to put this. And it's all because I worked my butt off. I don't just exactly sit back and say like, oh, cool, it just fell into my lap. Like, no, I'd be lying to every single one of you if I told you that I just got lucky or a lot of this just fell into my lap. Like, I worked my butt off. I consistently, insert income disclaimer, sorry. I worked my butt off. I put in a minimum of half hour every single day. Most days I average about an hour. I pour all of my love into my team. I pour all of my love into my challengers. And when you get that message from somebody that tells you, thank you, you changed my life, or you get that message from somebody who you never in a million years thought would be ready, that messages you while you're on one of these vacations that says, okay, you look so happy, you look so healthy, you look so fit, I'm ready now. I can't describe that feeling. And that person that reached out to me was somebody that I never, ever, ever thought would. Somebody that was kind of on my chicken list. And I, since then, have been going down my chicken list and have been messaging everybody because I'm not afraid. I am proof these products worked. We all are. I am proof that if you believe in something, you can get it. You can make it happen. But you have to manifest it first. You have to want it first. It's not just going to fall into your lap. So that's what I have to say. So I don't know, Christy, if you've got any questions or if anybody else has any more questions.
That was amazing. So yeah, I think you, first of all, nailed it. Everybody is like commenting that you're such a rock star because you are. And totally the perfect person to do our Punta Cana kind of recap on how you felt because you were like floating around the resort. I could literally see your feet like Tinkerbell, like floating around. You were so happy. And last year, I remember meeting you for the first, I don't know if it was the first time, but seeing you on the cruise and you had these eyes like, you know, they were going to pop out of your forehead because it's a lot. It's a lot to take in if it's your first time. And on top of that, if you are someone's guest. You know, that you were a guest last year and this year you're there, you earned it, you're like in the best shape of your life. So it was so fun to see you there and just kind of soaking it all in. And you totally nailed it because you guys, for real, I've seen Emilie's business from its inception. You guys know that Pauline and I are together every day. So I know intimately her team and her organization and all of that. And so seeing Emilie go from, you know, just getting to Diamond and then, you know, patching holes to, oh, it's way past that. Like she's hitting SC30, SC20, like solid as a rock, leading her team. I mean, you could just hear it in her voice, like she's got it together, right? And it was just this eye-opening experience of going on a trip and saying, you know what? I deserve this too. Oh, there's that phone again. I deserve this too. And I if I can, Emilie, I took notes. I was writing notes while you were speaking. These are takeaways from what Emilie said, you guys. And if you were to go back in our whole library of team calls or listen to every call that any coach has ever put on in the entire network, I think Emilie summarized all those calls right now for you tonight. She said you need to do personal development. Can we agree that we all need to do personal development? Can we agree that that's probably one of the things that we kind of shove into the back burner because it might make you slow down a bit? Yes, I'm that person because I'm like, go, 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 go. I need to invite 100,000 people. I need to hit Success Lab. I'll do my personal development later. And then it's the end of the night and you haven't done it. But what did she say? It's what got her business going. It's what gave her the belief system. It's what gave her the mindset. So we need to not shove personal development into the back burner. We actually need to do that first in our day because it will set you up for success the rest of the day. She said you have to go on trips, right? To me, like, how cool is it that, number one, okay, so cool that Paulina took her last year on the cruise. Super cool that is. But that not only did she work towards achieving this for herself, all the while earning an income that you heard her say it at the end, is now helping pay the mortgage and the car and the things that we all have to pay. Like, insert income disclaimer, we all know it takes hard work. But as you are working towards that and growing your income, you're qualifying for these trips. And so a lot of people have been asking, like, how do you get to Riviera Maya? And of course, I'm telling my coach, Vanessa, get on the wait list. And she's like, what wait list? There's no wait list. I'm like, I don't know. Find the wait list. So there's no wait list. But all I can tell you is keep doing your thing. Keep hitting Success Club because as the year progresses, people come off, they cancel for various reasons, and people do get on trips. My coach, so I've had a string of coaches that this has happened to. The first one, Danielle McKean. The month before the first cruise, he got on the cruise and went. The month before. Last year, Arlene Pino. Oh my God, there's that phone again. Last year, Arlene Pino got the call a month before the cruise. She went on the cruise. And this year, Teresina got the email like 2 months before Punta Cana and was there. So, but what was the common thread with all these coaches? They were working their business. They were hitting Success Club. They were making moves. So everybody that's on this call that's saying, how do I get there? You gotta just work your business. And Emilie, she summed it up perfectly. I mean, what better a person to tell us about hard work? She's working 80 hours a week. She's trying to get her master's degree, and she's making it happen regardless, right? She's doing her power hour, power half hour as much as she can. There are no excuses. But at the backbone of all this is, she said that, well, she didn't say this. This is how I interpret it. She deserves her success, right? She believes in herself so much. She believes in herself so much, and she deserves to be successful, right? So I know, because you know, I went to law school and the whole deal, that how she thinks in terms of her schooling, right? I deserve to get good grades. I deserve this degree. I deserve to have all these accolades academically. You have to act that way in your business too, right? Just like you're at work, I deserve that promotion. So you work towards it, right? I deserve that raise, so you work towards it. I don't understand what the missing link is, but that's the same mindset in this kind of business too. You got to work hard, you got to put in the effort, and you have to make it happen day in and day out. Number 5, 6, 7, I don't know where I'm at right now, but Emilie said, well, she didn't say it, but did you notice how she specifically outlined who her target customer is? The grad student that's so busy, that's not eating. She like literally she didn't even have notes in front of her. She's like, bam, bam, I know who I'm talking to day in, day out. Question for you is, do you know who you are talking to? Right? The reason I think, Emilie, that you had this amazing shift, not only it's because of your mindset and belief system, but you figured out that if you speak specifically to your target audience, they're going to listen. But if you cast this wide net on people, it becomes white noise. Does that make sense, you guys? Figure out who you want to talk to and talk to them, right? I know who my audience is. You know, it's the busy professional working mom who likes to drink and likes to have fun and still wants to work out but doesn't need a six-pack, right? And if you read my post, that's who I'm talking to. That's who I attract. That's who I want to attract. That's who I can relate to. So make sure that you are talking to your brand. And then last thing I'm going to say, if anyone has a question for me, you can ask it, ask in the chat. But she didn't overcomplicate this thing, right? There's no way that you can overcomplicate this business while working 80 hours a week and doing all that stuff. Just like us, if you're a parent, we have to not overcomplicate it, because when you get overcomplicated, you overanalyze and you stop. So you have to keep it simple. You have to, this is like 100% across the board for everyone on this call. Keep this business simple. It's those things repeated day in and day out that cause that compound effect to kick in and your business to start growing. Now, of course, if you 10x yourself, if you really put in massive effort and you increase your Success Club to bigger numbers, bring in more coaches, you're going to see faster success in terms of income. But you have to remain consistent in this non-complicated fashion, right? You can't overcomplicate this process. And of course, 100% of the time, you have to be patient in the process as well. So if anyone, yes, there's Vanessa like, you found, that's right, I did, boom. See, because I was doing my job and she hit SC22 last month, people. You guys, if anyone has any questions, please, you can unmute yourself, but not the person on the phone. You can't speak, you're punished. I'm putting you on timeout. You guys, this was an amazing call. Anybody? Does anybody have any questions?
So, tiny side note that I wanted to mention. I came into this business as a discount coach. You can ask Paulina. I told her, don't talk to me about the business. I'm a grad student. I'm a scientist. I have all these other things going on. I don't want to hear anything about the business. I don't want to coach anybody. I don't want to do anything. Cut to 2.5 years later. this is my life now. And although I have my master's degree and I love science and I love what I do and I love my research, I am going to be a full-time Beachbody coach.
Woo! Oh, you guys heard it. You heard it first. You heard it loud. And I have no doubt. Like, I literally have no doubt that Emilie will become that. You know, my story too started as a discount coach. I mean, literally, probably 98% of people will say from one time or another that they were a discount coach. The point is that can change, that can shift all in your head. And then it just takes that execution of your goals to move the ball forward. Right, Emilie?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you guys, the point of the moral of the story is work towards these trips. You know, we got Summit coming up in 2.5 months. I know a lot of people that weren't in Punta Cana will be at Summit, and I'm hopeful that you will get that feel, right? That fun, family, community, inspiring feel while you're at Summit, because it's those things that kind of, they change the game, right? Because we do these businesses behind our computers. There's no real human touch, and we interact, but there's not that I can hug you, I can put my hand on you, I can look you in the eye and ask you your story. That changes absolutely everything. So don't take that for granted. Listen to, not me, because, you know, sometimes I've become a talking head to you guys because I've been in the business for so long. Listen to these coaches that are going on these trips now for the first time or for the second time, who have these transformative experiences. I know, Alan, I'm looking at you, dude. Meeting Alan for the first time was awesome. You know, I knew exactly, he walked up, I'm like, Alan, you know, and it's like, you get to hear the stories, you get to meet in person, and that like changes a whole lot, not only personally, but in your business, which is obviously important as well. So with that said, Emilie, I want to thank you for your time, for your inspiration, for being you unapologetically, for working so hard, not only in your business, but on yourself, because that's so important. You guys, you rocked it. And I can't wait to celebrate your Superstar Day. I will, listen to this, I will fly to Illinois the day that Emilie hits Superstar. You heard it. That's it. It's contract. So make it happen, right? Make it happen. All right, you guys. And I mean, it goes for anybody on this call. You hit Superstar Day, I will be there. I will be knocking on your door the morning you hit Superstar Diamond. All right, guys. Love you. I will put up the recording as soon as I can. Share it. Someone commented, this is a great call to share with people that have self-esteem issues. So think about that and pass it along. Pay it forward. Love you guys. I will talk to you later. Bye.